Hi, I'm John Frum, and I'm here today to talk to you about Autism Villages. So what is Autism Villages? Well, it solves this massive pain point that all special needs families have. And tackles that by going straight to the source, community. And it's a community for everyone. I want to be clear on that. It's not just for special needs. Special needs is at its core, but surrounding it is the neurotypical families. Because if we're really honest about this, autistics, the low-functioning ones, the higher-functioning ones are okay, but generally speaking, they don't survive well on their own, and they need a community who will back them up. And when they have that, they can make a life for themselves. If you're interested, look up Patient Zero from the 30s, when the term autism was actually coined. The town he ended up in is a huge influence on this value prop. I absolutely love those people. They have gone out of their way to protect him, and he's had a wonderful life. So the goal here is to start small. We build a few houses and start with a tiny respite community that gives these families a place where they can get some time off, right, and they can recover and recoup without having to ship their kids off at a massive expense. They're still there. They are the subject matter experts when it comes to their kids, and they need to be involved, especially when it's nonverbal. My son's nonverbal. It's really hard to send them away when you don't have the ability to communicate with them, and if anything goes wrong or you send them to the wrong place, it's a nightmare. Like it's a constant fear. We also give the wonderful and incredible support workers a place where they can help, earn a few bucks while doing it, and most importantly, a place where they can see the fruits of their effort pay off in the long term. It's really hard to stay in touch with them. They generally lose contact after their portion is done. And this would be wonderful for them to be able to follow up and see the growth and development, the long-term influence that their work has on them. We crowdfund farming and manufacturing and the community development. The community holds the equity and the stakes in this local industries, and in turn, it gives these kids a chance to find a niche where they can be productive, even in some small manner. This applies to the neurotypical kids as well, and the adults, really. We need everyone pulling rope on this one. They get a chance to build real value with their community, and together, as a community, we mitigate the risk for everyone. Together, we can crush this down. So let's quickly talk about some numbers and how we're going to go about accomplishing these goals. First, I'm going to bring up a video here, and I'm going to play it in the background. So, the open source community has actually tackled down a lot of this for us already. This is open source ecology, and what I'm showing you here is their first iteration of their micro house. They also have a ton of other industry-related gear for us to build off of. Compressed brick, tractors, bread ovens, the whole 9 yards, like CNC mills, everything. It's an amazing one. I've talked to Marsan, incredible guy. It's an amazing platform that is sustainable, green, and most importantly, inexpensive while still being high quality. Their microhouse is modular and can be customized to anyone's needs. For ourselves, my plan is to build a couple mini ones. So one for kiddo, for Logan, one for, me and my office, customized to that, and then probably a main house one, right? Because Logan's 14 now. I'm thinking of the future as he becomes an adult. I'd love to give him his own space, his own little apartment, but what I'm really worried about is him taking off. And if you saw my LinkedIn post about it, it's still there. This has happened, and thank God, love you, everyone that helped, Ottawa Police, our neighbors, it was amazing. He came home safe. But it might not have been. And we've also faced other challenges. We were the family, if you recall, back a number of years back now, that was the Ottawa autistic family facing eviction. We weren't really facing eviction. It was the condo board, and they just didn't want an autistic kid in the community. And we're not the only one to face that. All these bits and pieces have come together to form the concept of building this community from the ground up. So the microhouse, the cost starts at about $15,000 for an 800 square foot starter base house, and ramps up roughly to about $50,000 for 2,000 square feet. There's a whole bunch of stuff in between, and it depends what you want. If you want a greenhouse, you want some other stuff. You can attach it and customize it to anyone. Really, it's incredible. And they've gone a long way with this now too. We go rural for safety and economic reasons. It's a lot cheaper to build out there. There is some very strong potential allies out there as well. Rural communities need some fresh blood and some fresh ideas coming out to them, because they're amazing people out there, and they will help us too. Right? They will get on board with this, and they will completely help us. We want to source our food. We want to source our manufacturing, all that type of stuff locally. We really want to go for that 100-mile radius idea. And it also keeps the cost of the land down, right? So if we try to build this in the city, it gets really expensive really quickly, and we hit the same issue. And we can do a lot of things as a crowd. There's some blockchain elements here too. So we're going to use open source technologies to build a new way of living. Blockchain to manage the shared equity and the long-term fund management. Smart contracts to run the wealth for my son, right? So the stuff that I'm putting away for him, I want a governance model attached to that where the community will also protect Logan and be able to earn some rewards off the investments I make on his behalf. And from there, be integrated into it and have some, ideally some productive element to them. So we go open source hardware and manufacturing so we can build inexpensive, high quality housing that is easily customizable for each community's needs. Like I was saying before, what I want is a couple small houses. One for kiddo long term, with all the stuff he loves built right into it. One for me so that I'm close to him until the very, very end. One for my growing family because I have a new baby on the way. That'll be the main house, right? And then, one for my mom as she gets older. Like, I'm not putting my mom into a care home down the road. I don't want that. I want to stay and have her in my life. She's an amazing woman. I love her to death. And because the same care and health requirements that kiddo needs, quite frankly, can be reused for the older generation. It's really not that different. We shift the condo fees away from maintenance. The open source builds let us do this, since it's so inexpensive to maintain. And we put them into health services that are baked right into the community. And use the community, the generating equity, to help subsidize the cost. So that when we do this shared ownership, and blockchain can do that, it's like crowdfunding and stuff like that. I'll get into it in another video. We grow our community together and we build value, but that equity that Logan's earning can help subsidize his cost of living. We also get the cost of food down really cheap. We have all the tools to make this a reality. I have the vision and the scope laid out, but I can't do this alone. Nobody can. It takes a village to raise a child, as the saying goes. And I need all of you on board to help build this one out. Now, I've been talking to some of the people in the community. One of my friends, Hanish, amazing guy, he put me onto an idea, and I have to do a shout out to him specifically because I didn't think of this. And this is what I love about community. You get together over a few pints, a little bit of food, right? And you chat it out, and we talk it out. And so much business development happens this way because the ideas flow really well. And he's an ex-combat engineer. He gave me the idea of reaching out to the vet community. The veterans, they need a place to go when they're coming home. They need a place where they can transition back into the world as much as they can, right? They go through incredible stuff. So I want to reach out to them. I need their labor. And in turn, they need a place where they can get a hot meal, a warm bunk, a place where they can put away as much as possible that old kit of bullets and beans and pick up a new one that is hammers and nails. These guys are great and they need a little bit of help, and I want to make a home for them too. You see, this place, Autism Village, the dream isn't just for special needs. It won't work if it's just us special needs families. We really need the help of the neurotypical community. And we are definitely not the only one that need it. We all need it. And when we come together at the grassroots level, we can and we will change the world for a better place. So, I said I'd talk about numbers, and I got a little off track there, sorry. I tend to do that. So for the sake of keeping it simple, let's say the average mortgage will be about $100K. That gets them the land and the housing they need. They throw down a $5,000 down payment. The mortgage is amortized over 25 years at 5% interest, right? Pretty standard right now. Well, that means the family has a monthly payment of $581.60 for their housing. It's really inexpensive. That's going to get them, 2,000 square feet quite easily, maybe a bit more, built out in different ways. So let's tag on another $1,000 per month for a variety of health services that they need. ABA, IBI, respite, care support, speech, OT, etc., etc. We bake that right into the community. This also gives us some ability to predict how much labor requirements that we'll have, and we can make that connection with the special needs providers out there. So all up, the family is paying into the local community about $1,600 per month. That's the same cost of renting a 2-bedroom apartment in the city, and not even a very good one. We could round it up to, let's say, $2,000 a month, and it's still inexpensive compared to what they're paying today. And their respite services are baked right in. And a lot of them, that's outside of their reach. Like, not all the families can afford that even. We really can't afford too much respite for him. Like, I love the camps that are out there, but he needs one-on-one, and it's really expensive to do. We want to send him away for a week. We're looking at anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 up to. Like, it depends where we're going, etc., but it's quite expensive. This isn't really touching base. I haven't touched base. I'll go into another video on this, but there's a gig economy side to this value prop where the special needs families can put sweat back into the community so they can earn some of the value back to offset their own costs. I'm at that stage with Logan now. He's 14. I have a lot more capacity to help others now because he's done real well. And I can go and help other people in the community. I can give them that, at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a giant meltdown. They need a half an hour. They need someone else to come in, cover it, help de-escalate the situation, etc. Or they just need someone to watch the kid for a couple hours. The special needs parents are exceptionally good about lending a hand, and they also have all the training. They're past the difficulty of how do you maintain and how do you take care of a special needs kid. Now we can get cross training and we can do workshops and all that type of stuff baked right into the community once again. So what we need to make this happen is people and dollars to get going. We have a Patreon set up, haven't launched it yet, but we have it set up. But at this stage, what I really need help with is building a landing page for the value prop, marketing and fundraising help, so that we can get together the early money to build that initial marketing campaign to get the families out there signed up, both special needs and neurotypical. Get a little bit of money sectioned away for the core build team, which I will be reaching back out to Hanish and the lads from the Combat Engineers, see if I can get them on board. I'd love you guys on board. Hanish, please share this. And I need the community to come together and promote this value prop so we can, really get into the fundraising and remove the barriers to getting this done. Now, I'm going to be tagging a few people in this, and I want to give him a shout out. First is Jason Daly. He has been amazing for me. He's a community builder, a venture catalyst, and most importantly, my friend, who has encouraged me to keep moving forward through some of the toughest times. And he's helped this value prop move in the right direction. He's out there hustling, looking for land opportunities for us, and he's got a couple opportunities locked in for us, which has really moved it forward. Hanish, as I mentioned before, who I've just come to know over the last year, and gave me the idea to tap into the vets, and he's a conduit in for them. So we'll reach out and we'll start talking to them. Right? They can evaluate if my idea is ridiculous or if it's very feasible. I believe it is, but I would like to have their input, and I would like to get the core build team from them because they have a can-do attitude, and I love those guys. And Bernie Franskroyd, who I just met recently, and he believes strongly enough in what I'm trying to accomplish to start putting me in touch with the nonprofit community to help get this moving along. Like, I cannot thank you people enough. And there's more people on that list, but these are the 3 that I just wanted to do a quick shout out in this video, and I'll shout out to more. Because they have given me the emotional and intellectual backing I need to move forward. So, quickly, the plan right now is to build the teams. The min, the build teams, and the supporters. And align them all together. We do some fundraising for the marketing and the pre-sales campaign, because we'll drive right into taking deposits for the housing. Keep in mind, these communities are planned to be about 5,000 people, roughly. They're big. We're not going small here. We're not doing this small little thing anymore. We're going big, people. Next step after that, we raise enough money to build 5 houses. and we get the land and we build the first 5. So we can demonstrate the core value, and we can have that demo village basically set up so we can bring people in, show them the value of it, rent those 5 houses out for respite, bring in the first little health services people that same time. After that, we expand the build and the min teams, and we ramp up to full production. There'll be some fundraising there, obviously. We'll need to bring in some mortgage people. We'll need to bring in the nonprofit people. So when we go live with this, we will push out the Patreon, and it'll help cleaning it up. But I have the framework of it up and running, because we do want to drive those early signups. Those are going to be critical to go out to the investment community and show them, hey, we have something fantastic and wonderful here, and you will make a good return off this. This is important too. We need to build a network of supporters. And I'd love to have someone, this is just off the top of my head, but Elon Musk or something like that, right, who can come in and support this. Give us just some props. I don't even want their money. I just want them to help share this out there. So I really would appreciate it if you can share this video and share it within your network. Please contact me. My email address was there at the beginning. You can contact me on LinkedIn. I would really like to have more of a conversation around this and see how much real interest there is. The special needs community I've talked to love it. They really want this. They really need it. They're isolated all over the place. But there's also the tiny house movement that's going on. We have a show on Netflix. A lot of people want to rebuild communities in a more open and transparent manner. Now, I touched quickly on blockchain, and I'm just going to cap it off with a little bit about that. The reason why I really want to do blockchain at this stage too is the transparency aspect, right? We could raise funds and stick it in a bank account, but then people don't really see what's going on with it. And this is a nonprofit, right? This isn't specifically to make a ton of money. This is to build new communities. So we're not going to use blockchain for a currency or anything like that. It's just, we can automate a lot of the functionality from it. We can do shared equity down the road. We can do a whole bunch of interesting things with it. So there's my ask. If you're someone with a marketing experience and you want to get on board and help me, please reach out. If you're a nonprofit and you think you can connect me with resources, that would be fantastic. If you know anyone within the Ontario Landowners Association, I would really like to have a conversation with them. They have an interesting value prop, or I should say a pain point that they're trying to overcome, and I believe autism villages would be a perfect fit for them and give them some defensibility. And that's it right now. Right? It's real. That's where we're at. So I really appreciate your time for watching this video. The slideshow of my son is here, showing a little bit of his growth over the years. He's done amazing. We've been beta testing the concept internally for a while, where we have two units in the same apartment building, and we don't move him, we move us, right? So that we give him this stable base, and we rotate in and out for our own respite. It was a lot cheaper to do. Respite services are super expensive, but a bachelor apartment in another building, it was $700 a month. That's amazingly cheap. And so we just rotate out. And he's done fantastic for it. He is a really happy, sweet, and wonderful kid. And his development keeps going. He hasn't plateaued yet. And there's other issues that I'll talk about there. One of them is probiotics. Look into it. I real strongly suggest that. But I'll do another video on that one specifically and our experience with it. Anyway, thank you very much. You are wonderful people, and I can't thank you enough. Have a wonderful day.